I remember when Ice Cube and T were black and rapped. Now they act like crap. I remember when The Rock, he cooked, and then he'd call us all funny names, eyebrows raised, with that funny look. Now he acts like crap. It's a fact. Everything is coming back, but changed. They're calling it the same name, but it's strange. I remember when it was cool to say hello to somebody new I didn't know. Now they're all plugged into their phones, which is plugged into where? They don't know. They don't care. I say hello, they don't say hello, so I stare. Uh-oh. I need more than a good chiropractor to fix this fractured, broken soul. I need more than skilled psychiatrists to bandage up these mentally slit wrists and net all these knotted thoughts I watch spin and twist out of my control. So look out all up, down, and around, both near and far. Hey, you up there, look out below. Everything is coming back, but changed. They're calling it the same name, but it's strange. I'm seeing so many faces playing charades, believing that they found a new game in a new age. Ha ha ha, it's just history to me, written on a fresh page. History won't repeat this, so I'm gonna say it with a fist. Scratch my name off the list, somebody's gotta resist. Such actions without thinking is like an alcoholic drinking. One slip is all it takes to start the snowball rolling, and then it's too late. And when there's an avalanche below, you'll be the one who's covered by the snow, covered from head to toe. They keep you in suspense while hiding behind their fence, and in the same sense, there is just no defense when all it takes is a fool like you to push the button and we're all through. The whole world's future and the whole world's past, one flick of the wrist and it's gone in a flash. One press of the button, we're here and then gone all of a sudden. Fucking A is what I say. I stopped caring about getting blown away. You can hide under desks, you can hide behind chairs. There's nowhere to run when the sirens blare. When video games turn into real life, you say goodbye to your children and goodbye to your wife. And don't forget to pet your dog as well right before all of us get blown to hell. Government-sponsored torture is kind of hard to ignore, especially when you're held prisoner of a misguided war. Lobbyists sit with wads of cash in their fists for any politicians who find it too hard to resist. Seems that tax cuts for the corporations and also the rich is the only way to build true bipartisanship. For our money system, the Fed is privately owned, backed by paper, not gold, and every day us in-debt wage slaves are sold. When you're afraid of not being afraid, the terrorists win. Their best weapon is fear. They watch our civil liberties become stripped away so fast through the most unpatriotic of acts, soon we won't be able to speak, see, or hear. If this is a state of the union, I think a state of emergency should be declared. On second thought, that's not such a great idea, and I haven't even gotten to distribution of wealth, inflation, funding for education, or healthcare. Why are so many more concerned with the theft of their identity than the loss of free will, dignity, and humanity? When you lack any great substance, I guess you dress to impress and fill yourself with vanity. This misinformation generation eats up whatever they feed you, be it Mickey D's MTV, shows based on reality, yum yum spoon-fed by a controlled media. We're infatuated by celebrities and American idols, Fox News, LeBron's shoes, natural disasters, and let us not forget the crazy homicidal. If this is the state of the union, I think a state of emergency should be declared. On second thought, that's not such a great idea. And I haven't even gotten to distribution of wealth, inflation, funding for education, or healthcare. I am growing tired of this throwaway, disposable consumer society. Why are those who say our globe isn't warming still trying to lie to me, using up our energy sources that will not soon be replaced? Did you know that plastic is going to be the fossil of the entire human race? Our seas are overfished and rainforests destroyed. Why? So men can make money? Mother Nature gets lucky when people are unemployed. If this is a state of the union, I think a state of emergency should be declared. On second thought, that's not such a great idea. And I haven't even gotten to distribution of wealth, inflation, funding for education, or healthcare. Time to step off my soapbox and walk down the road yonder. But before I go, two final questions to ponder. Might 7 billion people be considered overpopulation? How can we have all-you-can-eat buffets and sufferers of starvation? America wants change, not the rhetoric of change. Yes, we can, but we didn't. See, sometimes the truth is hidden. Sure, some words were surely spoken. The needle stuck record is broken. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. The rhetoric just keeps getting repeated. Information, guess we don't need it. Pick a war hero or a good neighbor. Suffer sooner or suffer later. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Maids in the morning sweeping up broken glass, long-lost dreams of a shattered past. As a cupful of life is spilled to the floor, a man who once had riches now lives poor. Walking down the spiral staircase that is my mind, passing all the memories that I've left behind. See the same things enough, soon you'll grow blind. Be careful of what doors you open and what you will find. Some patterns are so hard to break, they end up breaking you. Anyone who's ever worn these shoes knows this is true. See enough dope and you're bound to give it a try. See murders every day? Pretty soon you won't cry. There's blood on the sidewalk, the scent of death in the air. Yet you stroll right past while others stop and stare. Some men live long and some die young. Some carry heavy burdens, some carry none. When you're shadow boxing, you sometimes bruise. When you fight yourself, sometimes you lose. Homeless man in the alley, he's paying his dues. While he was sleeping, the children took his shoes. When he wakes up, he looks so confused. His pride is hurt, and what's left of his ego is bruised. Yet every hour of every day, the face has changed, but the story's the same. You live it, you breathe it, you hear it, you see it, you learn to accept it, and soon you expect it. Just as the sun rises, just as the moon shines bright, there's no need to worry, you're doing all right. Don't pay attention, just walk on by. Picture something nice, don't you bat an eye. It's not your problem, someone else will solve it. It's not your problem, someone else will fix it. You just leave the worrying to me. I'll worry about the way things ought to be. It's not your problem, so go on and make your exit. You think that you're perfect in everything you say and everything you do. Some say what you don't know cannot hurt you, and you believe it to be true. Oh, but the price you will pay, you will find out someday. That day may be today or could still be far away. So you better keep on your toes, because there's something that everybody knows. Inside there's a monster that grows beneath your pretty clothes. A vanity affair, but there is no one else there. You're only cheating yourself. A vanity affair. Either make amends or keep playing pretend. You're only cheating yourself. When you think you win, then you really lose. So either apply some more makeup or think of changing your shoes. A vanity affair. You're not just cheating yourself. You're dragging down everybody else. Birds circle around your home. Say it one more time. Why won't they leave you alone? They flap their wings from side to side, but from Mother Nature no man can hide. Being punished for crimes? Well, that may be. For crimes against humanity. Just when you thought there was no one to see, now you look at your life and who's to blame? You can call it fate. You can call it a shame. As your family boasts you're in the prime of your life, you go under the doctor's knife. For cancer has no name or face. Unfortunately for you, it's too late. Enter the hospital, a dying life. Exit the church, a crying wife. Now you look at your death, pondering who's to blame. You can call it fate, you can call it a shame. In the next room of a hospital is a mother's joy, the prize of a life, a baby boy. The parents counted the fingers, the parents counted the toes, but what's in the soul, nobody really knows. Food, love and shelter, baby got his fill, so no one knows why he grew to kill. You can look at their deaths, and who they blame, you can call it fate, you can call it a shame. A man dresses in the mirror as he flashes a smile in the $2,000 suit he'll wear at the trial. He asks the judge to cut his client a break, starts preaching about how we all make mistakes. The judge on these words reduces bail, keeps a guilty man away from jail. His freedom is gained, but what's been lost? Will he do it again? They keep their fingers crossed. I just got a pardon from the president because I did not admit to what I knew that they submit as evidence. I just made a friend who will do what it takes and be there to the end, or at least until he fixes mistakes. I think we may have just set a new precedent. Since it is so clearly evident that politics is no place for benevolence, when we can't trust the president, that means we can't trust the government, who often sells out its residents, giveth and taketh on false precedent. Since some just take whatever they need with greed, what's important is the numbers on, not the names of dead presidents. I have come to believe not everyone is entitled to be free, because a handful of money is all you need to put people in your pocket to guarantee that when trouble comes, it'll let you be. When you buy a judge, you can throw out the jury. The systems become corrupt, manipulated through misdeeds. Someone should do something, because there's a document I've seen saying they're vetting Ann Coulter and Satan to run together in 2016. Just remember that every candidate has a rhyme around election time saying we'll do just fine if you wave this sign. Standing on a pedestal, waving a fake gold medal, just rubbing on their crystal ball, saying they've been here and there and they've seen and done it all, only after the choice has been made and you've dealt them the ace of spades, while thinking that politics isn't a game and you haven't been played. But finally, after all the promises have been made, you found out the scale of honesty has never been weighed, as they've forgotten all that they've said. Speaking this while doing that, they placed one foot on the platform and then they fell flat. The train they boarded straight to the top, the engine failed, the track got derailed, and when the conductor was jailed, the bail they collected was never mailed. Yet every opinion they stated was quoted as fact, saying the proof was in the eye, and they said it with such tact, even though no evidence ever backed, but numbers can lie once you've developed the knack. So everyone signed the dotted line without ever reading the pact, and now you're complaining about paying so high a tax. Once you sign a deal with the devil, there's no turning back. However, there's a new path unpaved, so it's up to me and you. We've been taught to follow the leader, sadly, it's true. It can't be that way anymore. Time for us to settle the score. Start pushing the stale old values aside. No more can we run and hide. The government that rules us, practically everyone is a liar. Word's catching on and now it's spreading like a fire. They've talked and talked. Talk till they're blue in the face. Just follow me and I'll show you the way. Going to Washington, D.C., time to see the true enemy. But beware, for their twisting tongues will tell you it's me. Don't listen to them if you want to be free. Join us, every color and race. Speed up, we've got to quicken the pace. Million Man March, multiply that by 10. History, we're going through it again. Do it for the homeless you meet. Do it for the children on the street. Think about the hungry, the ill, the sick. We'll dismantle the system brick by brick. Tell it straight and don't beat around the bush. We tried to pull, now it's time to push. It's 9 for them and 1 for us. It's their turn to sit on the back of the bus. The politicians look us right in the eyes while their words are full of lies, so it should come as no surprise what happens to them after they die. They care not for us, only I. They tell me, well, just because when I ask why, they say they learned it from their peers, that true honesty has disappeared. So true has come our biggest fears. There's no one left who really cares. I'm going to give each one a mirror so they can see what we see. Then I'm gonna run for president so I can show what's evident. I will answer questions truthfully and you can think of what you want of me. I'll hide behind no mask at all. I'm not forced to sit. I will stand tall. I'll be myself and wear no veil. With my left hand on the Bible, I smoked pot and I inhaled. I had a glass of wine and I felt fine. Yeah, so I had a couple more. I went out looking for a good time. Like Marco Polo, I wanted to explore. Had no idea what it would bring. Maybe something great or perhaps nothing. The only difference between the pauper and the king is just birthright and the size of the diamond ring. Change the substance, not the shadow, or else you'll find that change is hollow. Let the light in, open the window, lead the people and they will follow. What do I do if not this? What do I share if not this gift? What's the best present to give our kids? I say a future world left better than when we first came into it. But leading by example is the hardest thing to do, to reserve and hold your judgment until one day you walk without shoes. Sing the song of someone else, well, it only goes to prove that one man's country song can be another man's blues. What do I do if not this? I could go back to being a hypocrite. Hello, dear, fake smile. Hi, my love. Kiss, kiss. Change the substance, not the shadow, or else you'll find that change is hollow. Let the light in, open the window, lead the people, and they will follow. Yeah, here's something those of you with 2 jobs already know. This bitter pill has become too hard to swallow. Healthcare's gone for good and Social Security will follow. They want you to pay for today so they can own you tomorrow. Overworked and underpaid, slowly dying from minimum wage, swimming in debt as the cost of living it rises over your head. So you try to forget, but I won't let you forget. Change the substance, not the shadow, or else you'll find the change is hollow. Let the light in, open the window, lead the people, and they will follow. What color are your eyes? To me, that's as important as the color of your skin. About this, I am quite certain. What color are you inside? That's what really matters. What we can see outside are just shades and spatters. Shades from mighty bright white to midnight black or blacker. To me, it's a mitigated factor, much like the clothes of a good actor. For it's just a tiny fraction of the whole. Something that's beyond all of our control, gives no insight to the depths of the soul. Might show where we're from, but not where we're gonna go. Graffiti scribbled on the side of a building, obscenities aimed at the passing children, yet these simple words can have such a complicated effect on an empty vessel of thought dependent on a world filled with neglect. With the wind picking up, there's trash blowing all over the ground. There's 3 guys underneath the bridge passing the bottle around. I see weeds sprawling across the sidewalk, crawling up through the cracks. I watch a kid on his way home to a broken home, walking alone along the tracks. Things are heading south no matter which way you face. What is bitter to your eyes can give your mouth a bad taste. Seems that everywhere I look, there's something that hurts my eyes. They say another day, another dollar. With each new day comes a new surprise. It's not just the inner city where things are getting worse, when the intellectual property of so many needs to be torn down or reinforced. So, just what do you want from me? Another bloody lesson on history? I am but one man, can't you see? Will there be anyone behind me when I finally make my stand? Could I see a show of hands? For I've grown sick and tired of laying way back in the cut. When your conscience burns with fire, you reach a point where enough's enough. No more playing follow the leader. I just fell off the societal ladder. History is cyclical and I'm a big reader. Many say I'm madder than the Mad Hatter. But to me, those vicious tongues only flatter. Only what my people say, that's all that really matters. I try to make a difference every day. Don't let my ego go run off and play, for it may come home broken and shattered. I dress myself in rags and tatters, for people see me more clearly this way. It's a small price to pay to help keep the monsters at bay, for there's very little that I need to be free of jealousy and conceit. Just my one true love and our little ones at our feet. Then I sleep well knowing I made a difference, at least to most of the people I meet. That's my definition of winning. Living in a box saying everything sucks, now to me that's sinning. Such unfulfillment would be my defeat. A human retreat, having to start all over at the beginning.